I'm excited to see so many of you on here tonight. So a couple of announcements before I show you how to make this tone-on-tone gorgeous card with some new products I have. The Designer Series paper sale, 15% off 15 select Designer Series papers, is ending on Saturday. Saturday is the last day. So if you have not taken advantage of that sale and you want to, please be sure you do it by Saturday. If you are not already working with the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator and earn your business. Also, I have a class to go that you can pre-order through Friday as well. You can find information on my Facebook groups, my blog, stampinpeace.com, or emails this week. And if you still can't find it, you can shoot me a message and I'll get the information to you. But the class is featuring the Dove of Hope bundle, and you will get supplies to make 2 cards each of these 5 different designs. And the Dove of Hope, I should say, is not just for Christmas. The class is a Christmas card class, but I have seen beautiful cards made with this bundle for weddings and also for sympathy. So consider that. Okay, let me see. Julie, Mary Lou. Okay, great. I have one more announcement. There is something new on my blog, stampinpeace.com, and that is a PDF store. After I sell my classes to go, I will list my PDF tutorials there for sale. So if you miss the deadline of a class, you can still order the PDF. You pay for it right there through the PDF store. You just look for PDF store in the navigation bar at the top, and then you scroll through and look at the different ones available. They are in alphabetical order. The company I'm using to do that, that's the way theirs is set up. So I'm not sure if there's a workaround for that. But I have 10 listed right now. Okay. So that's exciting. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. And of course, if you are somebody who just can't get enough Stampin' Up!, I would love to have you join my team. We have a wonderful team of about 50-ish people. We're called the Merry Stampers, and we're always looking for new people to join us. Whether you're a hobbyist, whether you want to do a little business or no business at all, or if you want to do a big business. We have the whole range. So please know that you are welcome, and I would love to discuss the opportunity with you anytime. Okay, so this is the card we're going to make this evening. Don't forget to comment throughout, because each time you comment, you will be entered into a drawing to receive the card we make tonight. And this card features some new products. These products are going to be available to you as customers beginning November 3rd for the month of November. And there's different ways you can buy it. There's 4 products. You can buy them individually. You can buy the one bundle. You can buy each of these, the Designer Series paper and the Curvy Christmas coordinating stamp set, individually, or you can get them all together like this. So it's a great value if you buy the whole shebang. It is, I believe, $70, which sounds like a lot, but there's so much versatility in here. And I do want to show you this Designer Series paper. So it has 3 colors: cherry cobbler, crumb cake, and shaded spruce. Comes in some great patterns. And then those patterns are repeated throughout with the different colors. And you get 4 of each. So you get a total of 48 pieces of Designer Series paper in that pack. Now the Quite Curvy stamp set or bundle, because it also has the matching, what is it, curvy dies. That should be easy enough. So the Quite Curvy bundle, which consists of the stamp set and the curvy dies, are going to be in January to June mini catalog. Okay. The Curvy Christmas stamp set, which coordinates, and you can use the same dies for some of these things, and that designer series paper are only available in November. You will not be able to get them in the new catalog, from what I understand. Okay, so you want to consider that. The other thing, as I was working and playing with this, well, there's bad news and good news. I'll give you the bad news first. The bad news was that I wanted to show you a project using the Curvy Christmas stamp set. And I have not played with it before today. And when I opened it up, let me see here. When I opened it up, it wasn't empty, but it had the wrong stamp set in. They sent two different cases and labels, but it's the same stamp set. But the good news is our demonstrator support and customer support is so fabulous at Stampin' Up! That all I did was make a quick call and they are sending me the replacement. So easy enough. So that's the good news. We have excellent service. So we are not seeing Christmas cards tonight or holiday cards, but I am going to show you this one, your 1 in a million. Great for encouragement, a thank you note, just a nice way to tell somebody you love them. So let's get started. There's a few things I want to tell you about the dies before we jump into the card. There are several dies in here. Many of them match the stamp set, okay, which makes it nice, especially on these groupings of flowers and leaves and such. There are 3 different birds you can stamp, and there are 3 dies, bird dies, so 1 for each. Here's a teeny tiny die if you want to stamp and cut out that little sprig, I'll say. I don't know how well you can see it, it's teeny tiny. This just cuts out a stem of leaves. So this is like one of those add-on coordinating dies. And then you have 3 dies that are the key curvy part, okay? And 2 of these I'll be using tonight, these 2. What I want you to know about these, especially the curvy ones, I'm going to put this in my little container there so I don't lose them. What I want you to know about these curvy dies in particular, these 3, is that they have different places they cut. So on this one, it actually cuts out all the leaves. The little stem curly things you see in there, those get embossed on the card, but the leaves themselves are cut out. On the other 2, well, I'll just see this one. Yeah, on the other 2, okay, you have a design. It's going to cut out this little fancy, I don't know what you call it, filigree design. And then here is the cutting edge, this curved line. Same thing with this one. So you're going to get different results depending on how you lay these 2 on your paper, okay? It will determine how you lay these on your paper when you're cutting will determine if the design and the dots are on the bottom portion, okay, or if they would be on the top portion. So you do need to pay attention to that cutting edge, okay? All right, let me show you how I made this beautiful card. I'm going to be using my Big Shot. Whoops, it's not called the Big Shot, is it? My, what did somebody tell me it was to call it? Oh, Mickey, because it's large, it's big. and I don't have my mini yet. We still have no news as to when that will be available for everyone to purchase. But as soon as I find out, I will let you know. Now, to make this card, you're going to need a standard size card base. Let me see if I can pull this up a little bit, because I will be using the Big Shot. Or not the Big Shot, I gotta quit saying that. The Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So perhaps you can see it a little bit better. Okay. So you're going to need a standard size card base, 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it in half and fold that for my base. You need this is just jade, by the way, just jade. You will need 2 pieces of mint macaron, and these measure 5.25 by 4 inches. You need 1 piece of Whisper White that measures 5 inches by 3.75 inches, and we'll be layering these for the inside of the card. I have some birds I already stamped, and I'll color one of those. But then you need 1 piece each of mint macaron and just jade. And these are 3 inches by 5.25. 3 inches by 5.25. Now, the first step in making this card is going to be cutting the curvy edge of these 2 pieces. Now, because I'm layering them, I want the curves to match up. I don't want, one curve to be high and the next one to be low, because when I put them together, they won't match up. Now, I have seen some beautiful cards made where they don't match them up. Maybe they're doing various hillsides or various shades of blue for water and waves. So, but for this particular card, I do want the edges to match up. So I'm going to cut these 2 out at the same time. And I'm going to put my die near the bottom. And where's my washi tape? I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape. You all probably know this trick to hold the dies in place. What I will tell you too, I don't know if I've ever really said this, but try not to, if you can avoid getting the washi tape on the cardstock, that's a good idea, because sometimes it does stick harder to the cardstock than it normally would, because you are running it through the cut and emboss machine. Okay, so you can see I have it off on the edges here. And whoops. Wrong one. So I'm going to roll this through. Got some leftovers. You might, some of the projects I was working on earlier today, I was using both the top and the bottom pieces. Now I wanted the dots to show on the top part, so I had the cutting edge at the bottom. Now, normally, if you're cutting one layer with this, those dots all just pop right out. I have found, though, when I'm cutting 2 layers, which it kind of looks cool just like that. It reminds me of upholstery buttons, or tacks, whatever they are called. But I want these punched out. And I did try using my die brush, and these dots are just so small that the die brush didn't seem to really be catching them. And I found it was just easier to do this. Just use your piercing tool and poke them. It'll look like this on the back, and then I just brush my finger over it and they fall right off. And it really doesn't take very long. But like I said, if you're cutting only one layer, die cutting one layer, This is no problem at all. I did not punch any out, which always makes me happy. I don't know why it's not really a big deal, but I guess one less step, right? I will tell you too, from experience, I can say, when you have all these dots, brush them off your work surface right away, because I had a couple get into my stamps, which, you know, I got them out fine, but if we can avoid that, we might as well. I think I missed a couple here. There's one, and there's the other. Okay. So now I need to put in this leaf design. I need to die cut that. So this time, I'm only going to cut that top layer, that mint macaron, okay? Oh, more people are jumping on. Hi, Sue and Janet, and is it Avanel? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Sorry if I butchered it. To go to buy Ava, maybe? And Roz, I'm glad you're all here. Okay. So once again, I'm going to place my die on top of my cardstock, and I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape to hold that in place. And I'm going to get it as close as I can to the dot design, but I don't want it to touch the dot design, okay? And this is what I have. Did you see how those leaves just basically dropped out? That's what I was talking about, how well these dies cut out. Okay, so this is what I have now. I'm going to get this out of the way just for a moment here. And I want to adhere these two together. Now, you want to think about where you're putting your glue, because if you put it at the top here, you have to be cognizant of that on the back until you get it onto this other piece of cardstock. So what I like to do with this layering is do the top of the underneath cardstock and do the bottom here along the other one. And I'm just going to do a few teeny tiny little dots along that decorative edge. And then you're just going to match up the sides. Like that. And you can move it. You can see on the first one, I left a little bit of space between the two curves. On this one, they're much closer. Okay. So just like that. Then you're going to take this piece and at first just lay it on your cardstock. Okay, just lay it on your cardstock. Now I'm using the stamp You're One in a Million, and I'm going to stamp it right here along the curve, underneath that curve. And I'm going to stamp with Just Jade ink. Now I will tell you, again, speaking from experience, when you do this and you're inking up your stamp, be sure that you don't have any ink on the block, because there's a good possibility you'll get that edge on the decorative part, and you can see how I did that. So I'm being extra careful this time, making sure I have no ink along the top. I don't. And I'm just going to press that down. And I'm sure you can guess why I told you not to adhere it yet. Just set this piece down, because if I had made a mistake, I can flip it over because I haven't adhered it yet. Okay. So now I'm going to take this piece. Let's build our card now. I'm going to put this on my card front. Hi, Susan. You all are so quiet. Give me a heart or thumbs up or smile face. Hopefully no angry faces or sad faces. And feel free to comment throughout, because you will be entered into my drawing for this card. And on this one, I glued it down flat. I'm going to change it up a little bit and put this one on dimensionals to see how that looks. See how I like that as a little change. Have you all been crafting this week? Have you had a chance to do that, or are you busy with other things? Okay, so can you see the difference? The one laid flat, glued flat, and then the other one on the dimensionals. Just kind of fun little difference. Now, when I put something extra on the inside, lots of times I will match up my layer from the front. So that's what I'm doing here. I thought about putting this here, but I still wasn't sure if I wanted to write on that color. If you're okay with that, just do that. And of course, you can do any color combination that you like. We have so many fabulous colors. Sometimes it's fun to just do the tone-on-tone cards. And then I'm going to add this one as well. You could feel free to stamp on this white one or add a little designer series paper or whatever you like. Okay. So the last thing I have to do is color my bird. So I pulled a few of the Stampin' blends. It looks like an awful lot for one little bird, doesn't it? So I have crumb cake, I have soft suede, and I have Cajun craze. Okay. And this takes basically no time at all to color, because he's so small. You can do all kinds of different birds, blue jays or cardinals. I guess this is, what is this? A robin redbreast, I would say. I'm going over that Cajun craze a little bit too, just maybe tone it down a little bit, have it blend in a little bit better with the browns. Speaking of Browns, are any of you Cleveland Browns football fans? That was quite a game between Cleveland and Cincinnati. I grew up in Cleveland. We lived up there with our children for 6 years when Peter was doing his residency and fellowship. And then we lived in Cincinnati for 17 years. So honestly, that's a game I think, I don't care who wins, because I was a fan of both, or am a fan of both. I don't really follow NFL too much. I like college football better. Okay, super simple. I don't even know how birds really look, how they're colored, but that worked just fine. And now I will need my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine again to cut out this little guy. Here's my little bird die. And again, this bundle has 3 little bird stamps and 3 coordinating dies for the birds. So I like that a lot. And all the birds are different, different positions, which is kind of fun. I put one on the other side. There he is. Cute little guy. And I'm going to pop him up on with a mini dimensional. Or 2, because that's what came off on my fingers. I think I'll put him right there. So what do you think? What do you think of the card? Let's see if there were any questions that I may have missed. Oh, Susan, you ordered your bundle. Awesome. Some of you only craft on weekends. Go Bucks. Yes, Sharon, I'm right there with you. Hi, Leah and Kathy and Judith. Oh, I'm so glad to see so many of you. All right. So one of you will win this card. I guess I should ask you, what do you think of the bundle? The Quite Curvy stamp set and the coordinating dies, and then the Quite Curvy Christmas, as well as the designer series paper. Leah says she loves that little bird. Me too. Doesn't it just make the card? Plus, it's a fun pop of color on this tone and tone card. What I do want to mention is, oh, I'm excited. When you're casing my cards, I take that as a great compliment. So thank you. What I do want to say about this is I wanted to put together a class to go. And while I was working on this whole bundle, product medley, whatever you want to call it, I decided it would really be better as an in-person class. But of course, with COVID happening and numbers going up here in Ohio, I'm not quite ready for that. So I am going to have a Zoom online class. And I'm going to give the class free to people who purchase the entire $70 bundle. Or if you want to purchase just the Quite Curvy stamp set and dies, that's okay too. But what I'll have you do is I'll put out a host code. I'll advertise this tomorrow. I'll put a host code out, and you either order this bundle or you order the variety pack. And this will start November 3rd, okay? And then I will send you a Zoom link, and we'll do some creating together. And I will cover using both the Quite Curvy stamp set as well as the Curvy Christmas. So you'll be getting lots of ideas Today, what did I make up? Looks like I have 2, 4, 6, 7 so far. So it's going to be fun. And I will send you a little surprise as well. And it'll just be a fun Zoom craft class, I guess we'll say. Okay. So think about that. And I will get information out to you on that shortly. Okay. Any questions about anything Stampin' Up! Related? Make sure I didn't miss any questions here. Oh, I see hearts. People are liking that idea of the Zoom class. You know, it's not perfect because we're not in person. But the nice thing about Zoom is we still get to connect and see each other and talk to each other, and you can ask questions and share your ideas. And we can include people from all over the country. So I love that. I love that. All right. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. It'll be later this evening. I have not had lunch or dinner. I didn't realize how much time I had spent down here, and then didn't really have time to eat before my Facebook Live. So I'm going to have a quick dinner, and then I will draw for the card for those who commented, and I will draw for a Stampin' Up! Gift for those who shared during the live. All right, everyone, have a great evening. I will be on Stampin' Piece VIP group on Friday at 11 a.m. And I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. I don't know. We might do a technique. Oh, we might do a fun fold too. I don't know. There's always so many ideas. Do you ever get like that? So many ideas, so little time. So many craft supplies, so little time. So many projects, so little time, right? Okay, have a good night. Thanks for joining me.